Close your eyes for a moment and imagine hearing one sentence that freezes an entire continent with fear. The Mongols are coming. Cities burned themselves to the ground before the enemy even arrived. Kings abandoned thrones. Armies surrendered without fighting. This was not myth. This was reality. The Mongol Empire didn't just conquer land, it broke the human spirit. And today, you're about to understand why the Mongol Empire terrified the world unlike any force in history. The Mongols came from the unforgiving steppes of Central Asia, a land that produced no more great cities, no more monuments, no more libraries. Yet from this harsh environment rose warriors who would create the largest continuous empire the world has ever seen. They didn't look terrifying at first. They wore simple clothes, lived in tents, and seemed almost primitive to sophisticated kingdoms. The underestimation proved fatal. At the center of it all was Genghis Khan, a man born into poverty, betrayal, and survival. His early life was brutal. His family was abandoned. He was captured, enslaved, and hunted. Instead of breaking him, the suffering shaped him into a leader who understood fear, loyalty, and power better than any king alive. When he united the Mongol tribes, he didn't just create an army, he created a machine. What made the Mongols truly terrifying was their speed. Traditional armies moved slowly, dragging supply lines and heavy equipment. Mongol warriors carried everything they needed on horseback. Each soldier had multiple horses, allowing them to ride for days without rest. They could appear where no one expected them, strike with precision, and vanish before defenders could respond. To their enemies, it felt supernatural. Then so was their discipline. Unlike medieval armies led by nobles fighting for glory, the Mongols followed strict rules. Obedience was absolute. Merit mattered more than birth. A shepherd could rise to command armies if he proved himself. This created a force where every soldier trusted the system and the leader completely. Failure wasn't punished lightly, it was eliminated. But fear alone wasn't enough. The Mongols mastered psychological warfare. Before attacking, they sent messages demanding surrender. If a city complied, its people were spared. If it resisted, the consequences were beyond imagination. Entire populations were slaughtered, not out of cruelty alone, but strategy. Survivors were intentionally left alive to spread data. News traveled faster than any army. Cities collapsed without battles. Fortresses opened gates. Empires chose submission over extinction. The Mongols understood something powerful. Fear wins wars before swords are drawn. Their tactics on the battlefield were equally devastating. The famous feigned retreat was one of their deadliest weapons. Mongol riders pretended to flee, luring enemies into pursuit. Once the enemy formation broke, the Mongols turned back suddenly, surrounding and destroying them from all sides. Countless armies fell into this trap, convinced they were winning until it was too late. Mongol archery was another nightmare. Trained from childhood, their horse archers could fire accurately at full speed in any direction. European knights in heavy armor couldn't even get close. Middle Eastern armies, used to a different style of warfare, were overwhelmed. The Mongols didn't fight fair, they fought to win. Their intelligence network was unmatched. Spies gathered information long before invasions began. They learned languages, studied customs, and understood politics. By the time Mongol armies arrived, they already knew who would betray whom, where supplies were stored, and which leaders were weak. No more enemy ever faced the Mongols blindly, only the Mongols saw clearly. When the Mongols reached Persia, China, and Eastern Europe, they didn't just conquer, they erased resistance. Entire cities like Nishapur were wiped off the map in retaliation. Rivers reportedly ran red with blood. Whether exaggerated or not, these stories became weapons themselves. Terror spread faster than fire. Yet here's the truth history books often soften. The Mongols weren't mindless destroyers. Once an area was conquered, they often brought order. They protected trade routes, encouraged religious tolerance, and promoted skilled individuals regardless of background. Merchants, engineers, doctors, and scholars were spared and valued. The famous Silk Road flourished under Mongol protection. This contradiction confused their enemies. How could the same empire that massacred cities also protect knowledge and trade? The answer lies in Mongol logic. Resistance was punished without mercy. Obedience was rewarded with stability. It was ruthless efficiency, not chaos. Europe was paralyzed with fear when Mongol armies entered Hungary and Poland. Knights were crushed, armies shattered. The continent braced for annihilation. Chronicles describe panic unlike anything seen before. People believed the apocalypse had arrived. Then, just as suddenly, the Mongols withdrew, not because they were defeated, but because a Mongol leader had died, forcing commanders to return home for succession matters. Europe survived by accident. China, however, did not escape so easily. After decades of conquest, the Mongols established the Yuan dynasty. They ruled one of the world's most advanced civilizations with foreign power. This alone terrified neighboring regions. No more empire seemed safe anymore. The Mongol Empire's reach stretched from Korea to the edges of Europe. No more borders, mountains, or walls could stop them. Even the Great Wall of China failed. Their adaptability made them unstoppable. They learned naval warfare against Japan. They studied siege technology from conquered engineers. Every enemy mistake became a Mongol advantage. The psychological impact lasted generations. Even long after the empire fractured, the memory of Mongol terror remained. Parents warned children. Rulers fortified cities out of fear of a return that never came. The shadow of the Mongols reshaped military thinking forever. And yet, the ultimate irony is this. The Mongol Empire fell without being defeated by a single enemy. Internal division, succession struggles, and sheer size caused it to fracture. Fear built the empire, but unity could not survive endless expansion. Still, its legacy is undeniable. The Mongols connected east and west like never before. They reshaped demographics, politics, and warfare. They proved that intelligence, speed, and fear could overcome wealth and tradition. They rewrote the rules of power. The Mongol Empire terrified the world not just because of what it destroyed, but because of what it revealed. That civilization could fall overnight. That comfort breeds weakness. That underestimating the unknown can be fatal. And that is why their story still matters today. If this video changed the way you see history, if it made you feel the fear, power, and brilliance of an empire that rose from nothing, then this channel is for you. Here, we uncover the truths hidden behind legends, the stories the textbooks rush past, and the moments that shaped our world in blood and fire. Stay with us. Subscribe, because history isn't dead, it's waiting to be revealed. Why the Mongol Empire terrified the world explained.